see at the clown house. But like Dr. Jordan said, like I came up here with no expectations, like whatever the fuck it is. And that's what became. But I mean, I'm not critiquing you. I'm just saying I think that's the way. Act the way you act and see it the way you see it because it's not what you expected.
Well, what I'm trying to do is subversively make a point that we all share common and universal truths, which supersede anybody's individual perspective. So it's a little bit like reverse engineering uh, identity itself. Because I'm about to update my PTR with a clown, and the clown is basically a magician or the fool, which is the first step, in I guess you could say transcending the void. So I'm playing a game, as you are playing a game, but I'm trying to, in a way, one up you in the game preemptively. And you just don't know it, but there are preconditions to this game because there are rules of communication, or you could say laws of communication. And I think the more that you understand the technical aspects of communication, the more effective you'll be in your word choice or your thoughts. Because you want to basically save time and kill two birds with one stone in all your communication. And the fact that I film all of Clubhouse, I've created this like parallel mirror of Clubhouse across multiple platforms. Uh, I don't know. It could be a me problem, but I think I've like basically manipulated a lot of people in a way that they're uncomfortable with. And I have forced them into this parallel game that they involuntarily joined up, and are doing as every time they come on here and speak because everything I'm recording it all. So, there's a lot of new videos out on the YouTube from the past 48 hours and really from the past 2 weeks. So, for the past 48 hours, I have spent many hours. I have put thousands of videos from private to unlisted, and now they're all public. So, there's a lot of videos of Clubhouse out right now of all the drama from the past 2 weeks. And, it's all on YouTube.
I do think you pissed a lot of people off with recording because they wanted to come out. Excuse me. They want to come in and say anything they want to say, just be stupid, silly, racist, whatever they want to be. You recording that, they feel limited, like you done fucked it up on them. Like they came here to be ignorant, but your recordings may hold them accountable one day, so they pissed off at you about it. But I look at that, that's their problem, though, because if you want to be racist, just be racist and stand on that shit. Don't hide it. Be who you are.
Well, unless I have actually used your legal name in a YouTube video, in my opinion, you're totally anonymous because nobody who watches this in India or Singapore or Indonesia or, like, no, people who are on YouTube aren't going to, they don't care who you are. In fact, they just want to click the fuck away and they don't want to listen to your, drama, your drama show. So,
100%.
yeah. See, the thing is, they hate me personally because they know that, like, I've, essentially replatformed them for all time unless they can get those YouTube accounts deleted. And there's not just one, there's like at least 10 people that would probably prefer that I was deleted and deplatformed. But I don't think you can actually achieve any power in this game unless you're kind of doing what I'm doing, which is basically just live streaming and recording what I'm listening to. And so I'm just saying there's a great advantage in recording what you listen to. And if you really think about it, it doesn't really take any time or effort to record what you listen to. So I'm just saying that if you've never experimented with recording everything you're listening to, you should try it and see how it, changes the game for you.
I would just like to make an announcement. Pepe and the whole White America house were just clipped from Clubhouse.
They were just clipped again?
They removed the whole house.
The whole house. Wow.
The whole house is all gone.
I think that's uncalled for. Like, I'm no fan of Pepe, but as far as I know, I mean, he was reading like from articles, but I don't see why that was necessary.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very rare that you actually see a club having a whole house. I'm just really kind of shocked.
It was funny. I was in the room yesterday in his room, and he had I see Pepe as a fucking racist, and people out there on opinion, but he had a couple black dudes in there just like his bodyguards, like attacking people that say something about Pepe. If you disagree with KK, one dude was going in Jay room attacking Jay because of Pepe. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Like, why do y'all? That shit was weird. Like, he had his own little pit bull. It was 3 black dudes. It was fucking crazy to me.
Well, Pepe also got clipped, it appears, and so I am sure right now Pepe is at home, just shaking, going, "I can't believe it! I can't believe it! I can't believe it! I can't believe it!
I just got a friend request from a Pepe PayPal just about 10 minutes ago, so maybe he already got.
Maybe. Well, I just looked for that account. Maybe is he still here?
So I have a question to change the subject just for a quick second, because I'm driving, and tell me if the background noise is bothering you. But do you guys follow Dennis Prager at all?
No.
I know he is. I haven't saw him in a while.
I mean, I thought he was like nuts and like blah blah blah. I'm not on his side of the aisle, but I listened to a talk that he gave at St. Petersburg College in Tampa, St. Pete, Florida, and this guy, it was pretty impressive. There weren't really politics, but I'd like to find out what I can if they're commenting in the section I can't read. But Dennis Prager is very interesting, and it was a great speech. So.
Well, what did he say that was interesting to you?
Well, he wrote a book about happiness, and so he's a conservative talk radio host. He was born a modern Orthodox Jew, or born into modern Orthodoxy, and he has this whole concept about like being happy. Well, first of all, he was ahead of his time with regard to Hamas and Israel because, so were others, but he was like, how can you be one country? How can Israel not be the underdog when they're surrounded by Arab countries? Now, I'm not endorsing the war and what's happened to Palestinian civilians, blah, 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 but it was almost like he knew this was coming. Sorry, I'm not being very articulate because I'm driving at the same time here, but anyways, I'll try and share the YouTube when I get a chance, but if anyone has feedback about Dennis Prager, I'd be very interested. Basically, his premise is that if you're happy, you make other people around you happy. It was hilarious. He's like, 2 moody people cannot get married. A moody person and a non-moody person can get married. A non-moody and a non-moody can get married, but 2 moody people know better than to marry each other. And it was just kind of a funny, it was kind of just a funny conversation about happiness and the impact of happiness in the world. But the truth of the matter, he wrote a best-selling book. Other books have been about Israel, blah, blah, blah. I just didn't know much about him. Now he's had like a terrible accident and he's now like a quadriplegic, but a very interesting guy.
So going back to what Serendipity just announced, if you look at that X post I made last night because I was live streaming Pepe's room, and this video on X has gotten a lot of views, or it's a link to YouTube, but I definitely live streamed Pepe last night. Then he ended it as I was out last night. Because when I'm out on a Saturday night or a Friday night, and I look at my live stream back at home, if somebody's playing Taylor Swift and they nuke my live streams, like that makes my life. It doesn't change anything. It's annoying because I like to know that I'm killing two birds with one stone. Hacker's got some harsh words of criticism in the chat. Wow, Hacker. I don't know where Hacker went, but so, anyways, what's everybody doing the rest of the day? Welcome to In the Muff, Joe B. This is rough, thick, poetic, tantric, puffy muff, and this is Clown Mojo. Mojo the Clown. Sometimes I go by the name Point. Everybody hates me because I'm on TV. And you're all just a bunch of stupid dummies. Clown Mojo didn't want it to be this way. Mojo the Clown wanted everybody to be happy, but they're just...
Master Jay is here. Is Jay talking?
No, this is Clown Mojo. Mojo the Clown. Joe B, you're on mute if you're saying something. All right, everybody, I hope you have a great Sunday. Mojo the Clown wants you all to know he's praying for your health, your wealth, your love, your peace of mind, your happiness, and your strength. I hope you find more flexibility, more courage, more splendor, more equanimity. But stop hating me just because I'm on TV, you big stupid dummies.
So, Congressman, who objected? Like, how much audio did you get of the drama that unfolded?
Oh, a lot, because I film it all on 13 different phones. So, and because I'm anonymous, I catch it all. So there's nothing that I don't, record, and I'm literally here 18 hours a day recording.
What are some of the highlights that would be like Clubhouse highlights that people would get, or might shock people?
I don't think anything really. I think people who have never heard this would just say, what are these people arguing about and screaming about? People in the comments are always regularly like, what is this? This is just a bunch of people screaming. They can't understand the context because there's too much background network between the speakers that random people who come across the videos, they say, I don't understand this. Like, this is insane. Like, what is all this? They can't figure out the context or who the speakers are, because it's like walking in on a play and not knowing the name of the play or anything. But I think that's okay. And I think it's, art. So I'm just saying I've captured people's artistic endeavors, and it's unfortunate that they're also not capturing their artistic endeavor, because I think they're losing, all their time. Like, why would you come on here and create all this art but not have a product after you create it? It just disappears. So replatforming it is the way to go.
Well, this is where I differ a bit. I mean, it's like, where's the productivity in necessarily watching a TV show that's like mindless, right? Like, my question is, are you building more? Are you building more neural connections, and maybe not, by engaging in conversation late at night when the benefits of engagement versus watching like a mindless TV show? And maybe you could argue the TV show is much more productive use of time, but I'm not so sure that people who have are home at work trying to regulate their emotions. They're sitting there being entertained. I mean, it's entertainment, I guess is what I'm getting at. It's entertainment that you're engaging with, not unlike video games.
Well, if I were to go to the casino and play a slot machine, I would record myself playing the slot machine because I want to. I'm paying to have that experience, but I also want to capture it with a camera. So I'm just saying, El Normo's here, who is a videographer, filmmaker. I think you would agree with me. It's better to kill two birds with one stone than just, kill no birds or one bird.
Hi, El Normo. Sorry, I'm driving, so I didn't see you come in.
Hi there. I just arrived. It's okay. Nice to see everybody.
Hey, Norma, happy Sunday.
Hey, happy Sunday to you.
Dr. J, were you all in the middle of a conversation? I'm sorry, I was on the phone. I have a question.
No, go ahead. I'm driving, so I'm not really focused on driving, but I can answer the question.
I was encouraged to ask you to describe the nature of narcissistic love bombing.
Okay, well, first of all, keep in mind I'm not a clinical expert, but narcissistic love bombing is when really a sociopath or narcissist or someone with a cluster B personality disorder is trying, or anyone is trying to engage a person and use charisma and charm to make them feel like they're the best thing on the planet, and that's how they woo them and court them.
Okay. All right, that's easy enough.
Yeah. I mean, you can love bomb something like a manager, a hiring manager can love bomb someone, and then they kind of pedestalize them, and then they eventually turn on them.
Okay. That's the nature of it, though, as far as like with a narcissist engaging in that type of behavior, is that there's an ultimate end goal, correct?
Yeah. I mean, and they do it subconsciously. I mean, it's not. I don't think that it's like, okay, I'm going to plan this long game out. It's part of their it's the cognitive empathy, I think, where cognitive empathy versus emotional empathy. Cognitive empathy is being able to read people really well and take advantage of it. Emotional empathy is really feeling empathy. So
right.
This is why a sociopath, for example, is so charming that you want to be best friends or lovers with them, I suppose, upon meeting them.
Well, I think if you're a gentleman and you're intelligent or sophisticated, because it goes both ways, Dr. Jordan. A lot of women are sociopathic psychopaths. So that,
100%.
yeah. So what do you think is the alpha predator then? The, super sophisticated woman or the super sophisticated man? I mean, who's the actual apex predator?
Well, in my experience, the narcissistic woman is not going to harbor the traits of a man. They're going to be the damsel in distress, bringing out their femininity, their allure, making them very attractive, like just innocent, needy, blah blah blah, all the things that might draw in someone who wants to use their masculine energy, and then suddenly you find out they're very manipulative. Use that woman, the woman who killed her kids because she married that guy in the cult up in Idaho. Daybell, is it, or is that a different name? Yeah, the Daybell, whatever.
Yeah.
Woman. She was an example of like she would flirt with everything that moved and didn't, And
the point is, they're inflating the currency, and it's just you can go to usbackpack.org and study all these figures and the Treasury API, Thomas Massey.
So. Yeah. Hey, if I could use it, I would.
Dr. Jordan, I know you work in consulting and professional rebranding. I'm wondering if Mojo the Clown could help you rebrand your professionalism, because I want to say that Pepe, in all of his rooms, and other people on this app are being held accountable, and essentially they've tried to do a rebrand themselves or do credibility or reputation management. So I'm just wondering, Dr. Jordan, if you would be willing to come to Chicago to knock on doors with the campaign to elect candidate Congressman John Kitover, and I want to do a full rebrand with you. I want to put you in a suit and a tie, maybe a bow tie with some cool glasses, take some photos. I think we could make you the most interesting man in the world, Dr. Jordan.
What? I mean, what purpose am I serving? Rebranding you? What? I don't understand.
No, it's basically a swap, exchange of services. I professionally rebrand you and reproduce the Dr. Jordan show, and you help produce the, campaign to elect candidate Congressman John Kitover.
Well, I do think you have potential. You have your alter egos. You do have potential to be, well, you could do stand-up, quite frankly, but I don't.
Well, stand-up's not.
That's a polite decline, John.
Oh, I got it. It's a play. Well, I'm just saying. I'm Dr. Jordan. I'm just saying I could, see, the point is I have many friends who, when I say, show me your Hinge account, show me your Bumble account, and I analyze how they're marketing themselves on a dating profile. That's basically what I'm pointing at, is that if you use a third party to produce your show, it looks a lot better than the way you would create it. So for the third party looker who's looking at your publishing, when somebody else does it for you, it's going to have a much higher, ROI than if you try to do it yourself.
No, I agree. I think the paradox, though, is that you think people on Clubhouse are wasting their time, whereas you're kind of wasting. Well, my impression is you're wasting your talent a bit, because you could be with all this time you're doing this recording, you could be you could be pitching stand-up. You could be doing stand-up work.
No, I think I'm using it the same way that other people are using it, in the same way as if we were all in a casino and we were all playing a slot machine. I just happen to be live streaming myself.
What part you missing? You are using like other people, but what he's saying, and what I agree with, you have a talent that is being wasted. Most people don't have that talent that they're wasting it. He's saying you have a talent that you are wasting, and most people, I don't have a talent I'm wasting, and most people don't. But I think that's what he's saying that you are doing.
Right.
Well, I just want to push back against one thing. You say that I claim that everybody's wasting their time here. I'm merely trying to play a very subversive game by suggesting that, because that's the one-upmanship game. And I'm trying to point that out to people, that people are chronically playing the one-upmanship game linguistically. But that's the way I'm playing it. And so what I'm trying to say is...
Let me back up for a second. Let me interrupt just for a moment. So I do this, I've been doing these apps where you meet people in real life, because in LA, people are so scattered that there's these in real life, there's this app called Time Left, right? You meet people, you meet total strangers for networking or whatever in real life. Every week, right? And it just expands my network a little bit, because in LA it's there's so many people, it's actually hard to just find community, right? And I've lived here 3 times. So my thing is that I still keep coming back to Clubhouse, because whether you see it or not, I find really interesting people on Clubhouse. Like the people that I meet in real life, you know, aside from friends I already have, I mean, there's not like, you know, there's only a few characters that are really intriguing. And, you know, it's funny because in real life, people are also guarded, right? Whereas on Clubhouse, you get to know people really fast. And, you know, there's chemistry that's built, right? And like that to me is a remarkable thing about social audio. So anyways, that's my 2 cents.
Well, it's a word game, and so if you like words and you're a wordsmith, you can play a very subversive game on this app, because gaslighting becomes an art form and gaslighting becomes the norm. So if you really want to play a far out game linguistically in a safe space and not get punched in the face and have a bloody nose at the end of the night, this is the place for those types of people that like to play that game.
Right, totally. But I think what you're finding is that you're frustrated that maybe the intellect, like you haven't maybe met your intellect on here, and maybe it's frustrating for you.
No. Reading a book here, to me, I realize that after you read so many books, like intellect maxes out, intelligence maxes out. And so it becomes a little bit like an organizing effort versus trying to meet your intellect or to be intellectual, because then it becomes a little bit like poker, liar's poker. So it takes on a bluffing element. And I'm just saying that if you want to achieve some type of if you want to achieve financial success, it is like a gray zone. Is it legal? Is it illegal? Because being in the publishing industry or the filmmaking industry can cause a lot of conflict. And so
let me say this. Maybe you're disappointed. Like, for example, I forgot exactly what. If you like, I appreciate your sarcasm. Some people are some people, like, you've done some things that I didn't like, right? That I didn't appreciate, but I do appreciate your humor. Your sarcasm goes a long way, and people who don't appreciate your sarcasm, regardless of their intellect, will never quite get you, right? So it's like Hikima and I get you. Whether we agree with everything you say may be a different thing, but like the humor, like there's an art for there's to be able to appreciate you takes, maybe it's an acquired taste, right? And like I think you find that you plateau here, you plateau out because you're like
there's no plateau in art. It's infinite. And Moose down there is just a critic. And Moose is, I gotta say, you're kind of a one-trick pony too, Dr. Jordan. So I mean, I'm gonna toss everything you just said to me back at you now and say you are not changing, you are not dynamic enough, you are not being creative enough. There's an infinite variety of creative aspects to art, and all I'm saying is, even when you're being political, whether it's genuine or whether it's performative, that is still art. And so
well, let me say one thing. If I had started out on this app with a pseudonym, I very much could have turned more into I may have adopted your trolling style, because there's a part of me that can be extremely sarcastic and obnoxious, right? And I just don't. First of all, I'm trying to move away from that in my spiritual journey. Don't smile. And so for me, like, I don't do that because I'm using my real information, etc., and I'm trying to be pretty authentic. So, but I could totally see that had I adopted a pseudonym, I could be more in your place. And
Well, it's not about me, it's about your self-development because a lot of people who like to present themselves as being the authority or being credible are still always working on self-development because ego is superficial no matter how you define it. So let me ask you a question. Is the ego superficial?
Well, of course, but I also don't. I'm not an expert. I don't think of myself as an expert in any way. Did I spend a lot of time getting educated in certain fields? Yeah, but unfortunately, that's been what's the word? There's a distortion in how people see me versus how I see myself. Anyone who started out in this app using credentials was kind of targeted, and maybe that was a mistake. But I really take it in, I really don't take myself that seriously.
Well, you should take yourself seriously. Everybody, the thing is, everyone can be everything if they want to be. Meaning, you can be a comedian, you can be a lawyer, you can be a dentist, you can be a heart surgeon, you can take on any role in society. I'm just saying that on Clubhouse, especially if it's anonymous, you do have the freedom to be truly creative. And I think people do, fulfill that desire on this app.
So for the benefit of the group, the room, why don't you tell people maybe define id, super ego, and ego, because it would even help me to hear your perspective on it.
Well, it's all the biggest ego trip going is thinking that you have an ego. There is no ego. There is no id and there is no super ego. Those are all concepts. The material objective world is your cell phone and your house and your clothing and your food supply. That's reality, not this word game that we play, which we take so literally. You can go to a movie theater and your brain runs what you're watching as if it's real, as if you're really experiencing it. That's the power of the visual medium of movies and films.
Have you read the book The Untethered Soul?
Are you projecting? No, I've never read it.
No. I'm reading it now, but it's what you're talking about. Go ahead, sorry. I mean, I think that, I think you are an untapped. I think you are an untapped comical genius. I don't want to say you're spinning your wheels, but you might be getting. You might elevate your.
Why? Don't just tell me, show me. Be my producer. Be my talent agent. Fulfill your role.
I will pitch you to some comic shows in Chicago. If you want to.
Pitch me as Congressman John. That's my shtick. He's a congressman.
Okay. It's actually pretty funny. Yeah, I will. I'll send you a contract.
I will wear a suit. I'll put a little American flag on my lapel. I'll wear my American Legion, cap, and I will do the most outrageous congressman shtick you've ever seen. People will say, you know what?
Why don't you call yourself MAGA John? Like maybe a rebranding requires. I mean, Congressman John is funny, but you'll get more edge with like maybe You use a couple, right? Congressman John, MAGA John. See what? Not that you're MAGA, but you're poking fun at it. So
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I think wearing a suit and wearing a MAGA hat and doing stand-up comedy is the shtick. So if you can pitch me, I've got a lot of videos on YouTube of me wearing a MAGA hat. And so the cool thing about YouTube is whenever I think that there's a good time, it's called clips. So when you're live, you create a 49, 59 second clip now. They lowered it from 5 minutes to 3 minutes down to 49 seconds now. So it creates it as a short on YouTube, and I have thousands of these new shorts from the past 2 weeks. Let me send you. Just click my profile. Click my profile and view some YouTube links later.
So if I put your podcast on I gotta put you on IMDb. So what I need to do is put you on IMDb, which I can do. We can talk about this, but put you on IMDb. Then you've got to upload your content. So you create a bit of a reel so that we can send that out. And I got to figure out how to, so you want to have a biography where you have like, so John Kitover goes under the pseudonym Congressman John or whatever. But remember, you're going to be attached to that for a while because it's not easy to change your bio on these things. So, but this is one way to start promoting you.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's do that. I'll get the IMDb page going if I can, or if I have to be connected to you because you're the pro or whatever it is.
Well, have you been on podcasts or do you?
I was.
Have you been on your own?
I was just on a good one. It's called the Prairie Report, and it's in my profile. Click on my profile, click my links, and then at the bottom it says 45-minute podcast with John Kitover. That's my first official press for the campaign.
Okay, I'll look at it.
It's a 45-minute interview where I talk about.
Who's the host?
His name is George Deinhardt.
Okay.
He's got a newspaper in Illinois called the Prairie Report.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
He has no subscribers on YouTube, and he just republished the second version of our interview, and he just labeled it Kitover. I don't know. He's probably working on it.
Well, he doesn't really need prescribers, but he does need. He doesn't need subscribers, but he does need at least a couple episodes to a podcast series.
He's a new YouTuber, but my point is he conducted a professional interview with me for an hour, and then he removed.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he removed all of the filler words. I don't know how he did it, but he used Zoom, and so there might be a functionality in Zoom to remove all the uhs and ahs and I think and and all the filler words.
Okay.
But it's a very good compression of my political opinions and philosophical economic opinions. So I thought it was a very good piece for me because it was the first time that it was a long form Q&A with me where I got to be political because it's a political video about attacking Darren LaHood and defeating Darren LaHood. So
what I do think is that the parody, the satire, like there's something really there for you as a brand to there's never been a better time to kind of make fun of politicians. So and the ambiguity that's created by people not knowing if you're serious or not about running for office is kind of also interesting.
Yeah, it is a double entendre or even a triple entendre. Because the thing is, I have my own catalog and library now, like 20,000 YouTube videos, 20,000 Instagram videos, 200,000 X posts. Like I have a lot of, you could call it baggage with me, but at least I have pre-existing platforms with a lot of content. So if you
The thing is, for the pitching purposes, your content needs to be like a reel. We need to take highlights. So because these people aren't gonna. This is what I tell all my clients is that the booking producers don't dive very deep. They Google someone, they want to see how prominently they come up. Like for example, they generate a Google Knowledge panel or an IMDb or Wikipedia pops up, and they kind of want to they're not diving deep enough, unfortunately. So. Is even though you have all this content, which is great, you really we need to that can be used later, but for the getting your foot in the door is there's something that really sells. Like,
yeah, I get it.
really,
It's a crapshoot, and time is limited. I mean, look at Phil Hartman from Saturday Night Live. You know, where is he? Where's Patrick Swayze? I'm saying we got time limits for success in terms of show business. So I would just encourage you to go to YouTube and type in Dr. Jordan Shaw Clubhouse and see what you find, and let me know what you think.
Well, I hope you would. Maybe the trade-off is that you remove that content or remove my tag.
Well, you can get whatever you want removed by complaining, and I would be happy to remove, any keywords. So the problem is I'd have to do that work. But what I'm asking for you to do is say, hey, John, here's my cell phone number, or you text me and tell me what you want removed or changed. And my telephone number is, I could put it in the chat, but let me message to it. Or
I'm driving
yeah.
right now, but we can talk later.
Yeah, I'm gonna text you my cell phone, and so when we have time to actually delete or change whatever videos I have of you from Clubhouse that you want removed and changed, because I'm more than happy to delete them, or I would prefer to just change the title so it's not associated with you, because I like if you like the historical aspect of the work, but. Let me, because I want to help with your reputation management, and I hope that you want to help me with my reputation management.
Okay.
So Moose has returned. Moose is a liberal Democrat cuck. He's easily triggered. He creates.
Not too much on Moose.
Well, he creates John Kitover struggle session rooms. So I just hope he could come up and maybe center me a little bit. Because I do like the John Kitover struggle session rooms. I hate to say that.
You're an attention whore.
Maybe I'm an attention whore. Maybe I'm susceptible to flattery. But this is the fun thing about this app.
Like Moose.
I know. I'm just trying to create. I'm just trying to create some controversy with him, not with you, though, Serendipity.
Moose is good people.
Well, he says a lot of negative things about the campaign. I wasn't allowed to respond to him yesterday. I'm hoping now maybe I could get my responses in. But if he's too cowardly of a man and he only likes to talk his shit when he can't be talked back to, I understand. That's what cowards do.
The other thing that you can assemble is that there are some really obviously quirky people on the app that might be good sidekicks for you, right? Like maybe you don't
like Moose.
Well, Moose is interesting. I don't know that Moose wants to be a sidekick, but okay. Like for example, Agent, or Kyle. I mean, or Jason Dusick.
No. Listen, Mojo was going to set up an interview with Lou Fax. Those types of Q&As would be interesting because if I I'm not going to troll. I'm going to be very professional in the communication. So I'm not going to be insulting, degrading, or even controversial in any kind of interviews with anybody who has an audience. I mean, I just want to stick to the facts. But, Moose doesn't stick to the facts. He slanders me, he libels me, he defames me. Moose, how do you defend yourself?
Actually, John, you know what? I was a little heated yesterday, and I owe you an apology. It is not for me. I called you a fraud. That is not for me to say, to make that judgment. If you are actually running for Congress, cool. If you're not, cool. At the end of the day, what I took issue was with someone who might be running for Congress and then recording 600 rooms on Clubhouse. It just doesn't seem like the best, use of one's time, considering the amount of time and energy and resources, I'm sure that is required to run for such a high office. So that's a legit apology. It's not. I was out of pocket to call you a fraud. That is not for me to say. It is. You're incredibly irritating. And I do think you do center yourself a wee bit too much. But hey, it's Clubhouse. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, if this is just, there's several people out here saying that you've officially declared this whole campaign as a troll. Cool. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I would just suggest looking into what is really the reason. It doesn't sound like you're monetizing. Like, what is the burning desire to record so many rooms and then replay them on YouTube? That's a legit question.
Because it costs me nothing to do. It's artwork. And I'm an artist, a filmmaker, a videographer, a politician, a patriot, and I'm an American. And you're just an old junky payphone.
Hey, now, Moose came up here and he took the bigger road. He apologized. I mean,
Yeah, and he followed it up with an insult. It wasn't a genuine apology. He said, but you're a troll and you're a loser and you suck. That's what he said. It's an insincere apology. And I'm just going to say, you're nothing but an old junky payphone.
We don't get to dictate how people apologize. And some are certainly better at it than others. But you know what? Moose made a good
Mojo the Clown has feelings too. Mojo the Clown, when you prick Mojo, he bleeds. When you make fun of Mojo, he cries. Mojo is a man. Now you're punching back, Moose. If you keep harassing the campaign, I'll be forced to take legal action against you in the same way I've been forced to take legal action against others. You hate me. You hate me because I'm on television.
Who's lesser of a man? You're going into your alter ego here. It's just wild. I'm good. Everyone's heard it. I'm good.
You're just a junkie payphone. And Mojo the Clown has feelings, Moose.
Moose is good people.
Well, you were correct that one candidate who wanted to do the signature circulation for the petitions, I did want to tell him immediately, FYI, before we proceed, this phone call is being recorded. And it took me, I don't know, minute, 2 minutes, whatever, to get to that point. But that's because I didn't want to interrupt. But I agree that was an F up of the campaign. But, we have moved on because he texted us that everybody here is spamming and wasting time, and he declined to do any work. But I will tell you that I think I am going to absolutely have to myself go to Rockford and Peoria and get a lot of signatures over the next couple of weeks. So it's a drive, from Chicago to Peoria is a drive, and I'm, going to get a cheap motel and get signatures. But before I drive out there, I have signs that have been printed up thanking all the Clubhouse donors using their profile names, not their real legal names. So there's another artistic element to this campaign. Signs, business cards, flyers, and flags as we go on the road to get the signatures to defeat Darren LaHood.
Is the guy that you interviewed for the job from Craigslist, is he helping you out? Is he working with you?
No, he moved on to another campaign. That's the greatest thing about working with the campaign, is that if wherever we depart, because every relationship has a beginning and an end, most people go on to bigger and better things once they work with Mojo the Clown.
So he's helping LaHood.
I'm not sure. A lot of people are working with LaHood because they understand what my campaign is about, and they want to keep kicking the can down the road and printing $2 trillion a year that they shouldn't be otherwise allowed to. If we had a fair and budget balanced act and we weren't spending $2 trillion a year that we don't collect, this is exactly why they want me to shut up, because they want to keep the skim, they want to keep the inflation, and they want to keep scamming us. This is your debt. This is your tax. You're going to have to pay it back. I'm trying to prevent people from giving you unassumed liabilities that you didn't vote for. That's what my campaign is pushing. A lot of people don't think the budget is an interesting thing or the deficit is an interesting thing. To me, it's the only thing that matters because it's perpetuating all of this bullshit. So stop the skim, stop the scam, crush the can. You're just an old payphone, though. What do you know, Moose?
Yeah, I'm just waiting to get repaired. I think a high school teacher brought in like a payphone or parts of a payphone to her class, and nobody in the classroom knew what it was.
Well, in the muff, using your fingers in a swirling fashion and sticking it in a hole is a requisite.
Yeah, it's true. The mechanics of the payphone do seem quite conducive to in the muff.
Most people are unaware, though, of just how much bacteria there is when you put the headset next to your face.
The headset of the muff or the phone?
The phone in the muff.
Can you make a long distance call in the muff?
Let's find out. Operator. Yes, this is in the muff operator. I'd like to make a collect call to Serendipity.
Looks like she's not accepting the charges, John. Try again.
Operator.
And
Try Hakima.
Paging Dr. Beeper. I think that's from Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. There's like a scene where he was like playing a doctor, paging Dr. Beeper. It's also from Caddyshack. All right, so this has been Rough, Thick, Poetic, Tantric, Puffy Muff. If many of you are unaware of what Puffy Muff in the muff is, it's thick, it's poetic, it's tantric, sometimes it's rough. Okay, now that this room is winding down, we're going to help relax the room by reading some Bible flashcards in the muff. Here we go. Here are your random Bible flashcards for the day.
Akima.
Whoever exalts himself will be humbled. Whoever humbles himself will be exalted. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. No one can serve two masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined to me and heard my cry. Don't brag about tomorrow, since you don't know what the day will bring. For you, O Lord, are my hope, my trust, O Lord, from my youth. Be strong and courageous, all you who put your hope in the Lord. I will both lie down in peace and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. God saved us, not because of the righteous things we had done, but because of his mercy. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart, all you who hope in the Lord. I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Know that wisdom is such to your soul. If you find it, there will be a future, and your hope will not be cut off. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Be happy, yes, leap for joy, for a great reward awaits you in the muff. Anything is possible if a person believes. Your faith has saved you. Go in peace into the muff. My Father's will is that everyone who looks to the Son and believes in him shall have eternal life. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it is not rude, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. Love never fails. I am the Lord your God who takes hold of your right hand and says to you, do not fear, I will help you. The steps of a man are established by the Lord when he delights in his way. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. It is not that we think we are qualified to do anything on our own. Our qualification comes from God. Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make you ruler over many things. Here's what I want you to do. Take your everyday, ordinary life, your sleeping, eating, going to work, and walking around life on Clown House, and place it before God as an offering in the muff. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for him in the muff. May the Lord of peace himself give you his peace at all times and in every situation. The Lord be with you. I will lift up my eyes to the hills. That's what I call an in the muff takeover. All right, everybody, that's been another exciting episode of Clown House.